Co-op is the move. Yeah, co-op could be. I want to talk to Net once he unmutes, like about.
I'm unmuted.
Oh, hey, hello. Um, I was saying, I think one of the things that we initially thought would be fun in the I'm in a car, you're in another car, and we kind of battle it out. It's fun if we're able to keep it fun. Like I said, I was listening to what you're saying there, where for you don't want that stress and that pressure. You get all of that annoyance and a little mistake screwing up. I mean, we get that in champs enough as it is, right? Like a human error, and then you concede and you have someone shushing and dabbing on you, and then your chat gets up your ass. We don't need that. And unfortunately, I think this series, like me versus you type of thing, is fun in concept, but because you and I are both relatively competitive, I'm gonna try and do well, and I know you're gonna try and do well. And the difference is like one instance you're pushing, you spin and crash or whatever. What happens? I'm running up some good races. So at the end of the day, it just ends up getting frustrating for one guy more than the other. I don't feel like, and so it's going back to my initial thought process of like the co-op series again, us being in the same team and almost working together to get the team to win, as opposed to worrying so much about a driver's championship, right? Um, Maybe that was a better series and a better idea. And it's really shitty, obviously, that the Williams series glitched out and got ruined. But
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to unpack there for me because it's not even in that series. It was just mad frustrating for me, constantly being the anchor, constantly being the guy that doesn't get points or DNFs. Like that wasn't that fun for me either. But I do enjoy F1 and I do enjoy the series, both of them. It's not like something that's so black and white as just it's just one thing or another thing because there is still that competitive nature even in the Williams series, right?
right,
The one of the things like I don't know how much back you was listening to what I was saying, but like one of the things that like plays on my mind now and has done since well a couple of times like in the Williams series and stuff is that because I know that the tiniest mistake ruins everything. I'm like tentative around the tracks. I'm not actually enjoying the race because what I'm actually doing is just waiting for that mistake to happen. And then it just leaves me like with a mad anxiety the entire time. And that's why I like practice and qualifying because it doesn't mean a shit.
yeah,
I can bang around that track like there's no tomorrow, and if I crash out, then that's too bad. It doesn't impact the race. But as soon as it gets to race time, now straight away the anxiety just hits me. If I make one mistake, it's over, and it happened again today,
mm-hmm.
or twice because like for I don't like it's just such a shame we can't see the Claire incident either because he literally like I'm not in my head. I know what goes on in my head. You know what goes on in your head, right? That we're in lap 35, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to overtake him in this lap. I just want to stay near him because I want to get that DRS on that third really long straight
Yeah,
then hold in front of him. So I wanted to stay behind him. He late braked in the corner, so I like pulled inside and broke as well, and he just turned into me. Like he wasn't even at the corner. He almost like tried to defend me overtaking him, even though I wasn't, and so clipped me and spun me around again. I'm like, for fuck's sakes! Like I wasn't even I wasn't even trying to pass him. I wasn't even being aggressive, and he's still hit into me again.
yeah,
And it literally his head's gone, mate. It's like, why the fuck am I playing this? I don't need this stress from another game, and it's nothing. It is nothing, but also everything to do with the fact that you're winning and I'm not. It's nothing to do with the fact because it's the way I feel and the way I think and like the what goes on in my race. But it is also because you're so far ahead that it just makes it compounds it. Because if you DNF and I finish P7, happy days. Or if you P11 and I'm P7, like brilliant, I've made some points up, like that kind of thing. But
right.
so it's nothing, but also everything to do with that. As I say, like I know it sounds like I'm just like being like I saw some of the comments in my chat and I have your stream open. I saw a few of the comments in there. Like people think I'm being salty just because you're winning, and I just need people to understand it's nothing to do with Nick winning. Like Nick deserves to win these races. He puts the time in. He's just a better driver in general. He's a considerably more consistent driver. He deserves to win the races. There's nothing against him winning the races at all. The thing that stresses me out is just the fact that I can't compete. And so why would I? Why would I try when I can't? It's just pointless.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from, and I think I just have a perspective because of the position I'm in, right? So for me, it probably like, what is it like? I have a rose-colored perspective because to me in my head, I'm like, well, I don't even really care about the championship. Like, I just like the day-to-day dogfights me and you have. Again, I didn't get my point across well before the first time you muted, but for me, I don't really care too much about the position of the overall table. And again, everyone, even in my chat, are like, "Oh, sure, yeah, you're saying that because you're first." But I just enjoy loading in. Genuinely, I enjoy loading in and just having like a silly goose battle with you on the day in practice.
Yeah, no, I do as
Right,
well. Yeah,
and then in quali, like dude, I was fucking happy to see you going P1 and stuff like that. It like it gets my kind of juices flowing, and then in the race. So for me, I think that's maybe mentality where maybe we're separated, and why I'm probably finding more enjoyment than you are. But then again, someone could say, well, but that's not accurate. It's because I'm in first. But for me, it's just like a day by day thing. And so again, even today, and even ignore like going into tomorrow, I'm stoked tomorrow to see like how you and I do in practice. I'm stoked to see how you and I do in quali again, and then I'm kind of interested even tomorrow to see just how you and I do against the AI, because the AI is nuts in England and we've upped the difficulty, right? It's weird because I'm not coming from it looking at it like I'm excited for tomorrow to battle you, to beat you and go P1 or go P2 and you crash or whatever. People think that that's why we started that series, and you and I are a little bit silly and make fun of each other and I hope you crash and whatever. But truly,
yeah.
from my heart of hearts, I'm not going into this race in with the eye like a psycho that I need to go P1 and I'm really rooting that you fuck shit up. I'm not. Like, I hope you don't feel that from me, because I genuinely am
No, I
not.
don't feel that. As I say, like the biggest problem for me is the anxieties that I have with thinking to myself, I could be 30 laps into this 32 lap race, and then the tiniest little error, and it's all fucked up. Like, and so that plays on my mind the whole race. Like it just does. Like, and it has done even in the Williams. Like when I had that stint of DNFing like 4 races in a row,
Yeah.
I went into one of the races and literally just said to myself, I don't care if I'm like 2 or 3 seconds a lap behind last place, just finish the race. Like, and it's just a weird situation to be in. Like the thing that makes it the most difficult for me is that I know my times are competitive. Like I've got 4 poles from the first 7 races that we've got.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 fastest laps, but I've got 2 DNFs and a 17th. Now, if those DNFs and 17th were even like P5s and P4s, I'm up there at like 110, 120 points. It's a completely different feeling because it's like, okay, there's still something to fight for. There's still 13 races left.
Yeah.
You will eventually make a mistake,
Yeah.
or I'll eventually get that consistency.
Yeah.
But where we're at now, it doesn't like, and literally unless you DNF like 4 or 5 races whilst I'm winning, there's just no chance.
Right. Right. No, and again, and I think that's where we differ, is that you're looking at the entire experience from this standings that we're both looking at right now. Whereas again, I'm looking at the experience of just a day-to-day fight. Like which is, and I think this is another thing that's getting overshadowed, is think of where we were at the start, dude. Like, you were DNFing everything. I was maybe a little bit more consistent. Like, I'd go 11th one race and then DNF the next or whatever, right? Like, I'd go 7th and then 15th and then DNF. Bro, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. We're on way harder difficulty and you're going fucking 2nd and 3rd and 2nd and 7th, dude. Like, ignore me
DNF
altogether.
and DNF
No. I know,
P17.
but I was doing that in season 2. Again, the difference is I've put in a lot more time, right? So you're kind of now at where I was on maybe the start of season 3 in the Williams, just purely, not talent-wise, just purely because at this point now, dude, there's no difference talent-wise between me and you. The difference is now experience. I'm just putting way more time in. So when it comes to these races, my racecraft is higher purely off the fact that I've just had 50 more laps on a track than you have against other cars, right? And that's huge. That's massive. So
No, I completely get that, but that is why upping the difficulty
Mm-hmm.
isn't gonna hurt you, but is gonna hurt me because now I'm already not good enough Like I'm already making mistakes, human errors,
Yeah.
when I'm way faster than all the other cars but you. So when we move the difficulty up, now I've also got to implement the racecraft and all of that stuff as well. It's going to be even worse for me.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, 90
And like on the time like today, like where in qualifying we only put the first lap in, and we didn't even do the rubbered in end of the lap thing, whatever. And
Right.
we were fast enough to the point where even if they were on 90 difficulty and we did it, I still think we would have been pole and P2, like on proper engines and stuff. So you're still going to be fast enough. You're still going to be up there in like the P1s to 3s and maybe 4s and 5s. Whereas I'm going to be like, all right, I can't even, like, I'm with the back of the pack here. Now I'm making even more errors, and the gap just widens further.
Yeah.
And I know the only way to overcome that is to put more time into it. And I know I'm not going to be putting more time into it. Not because I don't want to, because I genuinely enjoy this series. It is like I always look forwards to jumping on. I look forwards to the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And I do have that mentality of like, right, today's going to be the race until something goes wrong. Like yesterday, not yesterday, was it 3 days ago?
Yeah.
I came away from that race buzzing, and I didn't even win.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
came away from that thing like that was just fucking insane. In the wet, in the rain, I started P19, or like I fucking took my wing off lap 1, came out of the pits in lap 2, P19, and only because someone DNF'd, otherwise it would have been P20. And then I pulled myself all the way up through in the wet, in the rain to P2.
yeah.
I was like, that's insane.
Hmm.
But then after the race before the DNF and this race here, now I'm like, like, why fucking bother? But tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll be like, all right, can't wait to go again. Like, let's do Silverstone, and hopefully I'll smash this one. And so, like what I said probably about half an hour ago now, like once I switch this game off and take my headspace somewhere else, I'll immediately be looking forwards to the next race.
Right.
It's not that I don't enjoy playing it, and it's not that I don't enjoy racing with you. This has been genuinely some of the most fun, some of the greatest laughs we've had in a long time from this series.
Yeah.
Well, not specifically this series, but just the stuff in general.
Yeah, our banter rivals like our PUBG banter days for me in these the laughing we've had, for sure. That's why I want to make sure you're having. I will do anything to make sure we're both equally having fun. I am not, like you said too, we're going to be stressed with FIFA. I want this, even if we do decide to keep this going for FIFA, I want it to be is respite the right word? I want it to be like our mini vacation. Like, oh, fuck, dude. All right. Champs is done, whatever. It's Monday. Let's get a 2 or 3 hour in. We've got Silverstone. Let's have some fun with it. And honestly, man, maybe that is what we should do. Is I should not be allowed to grind and practice unless you are available and willing to grind and practice. Maybe that
but
in and of itself.
That's not fair on your stream schedule and your stream and what you're doing with your fans.
I know, it's okay. I'll do other stuff. I don't mind. Like I'm okay with that. If that evens the playing field on it, because you got to understand, like the reason I'm putting in so much time again is not because I want to kick your ass or win. I just love cars and racing and stuff in general. So like I'm just putting in time because other than FIFA, this is the only thing I enjoy. So once FIFA comes out, that is truly something that could be a rule as well, because you and I are both going to be grinding on FIFA. Maybe we'll be in co-op together on FIFA, and we just make that a rule where we can only practice for the day's event together. So at least it's even, because I mean, you can, as much as we want to joke, you can almost argue that I've been cheating a little bit. I've been putting in more time. You've been spreading out your stream a little bit more, doing all the stuff that you do and whatever. And I've been kind of taking advantage of that and prepping myself more to try and do well. Now, initially I was doing that in the series because the Ferrari was a bag of shit. Now it's like jump the gun. So I'm like over preparing, and I've got the fastest car on the track. So it's a bit too much. So, I mean, I don't know. I suppose I do truly feel bad because I want it to go back to even saying, fuck the standings. We look at the standings at the end of this season. Like, I just want to go back to having fun, me versus you, in a non-serious way every day. And maybe the start of that is just us agreeing to jump on when we're both ready to jump on. Not you jumping on after I've had an hour and a half of online lobbies, which I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm getting so much good practice because you've seen 50% of our lobbies are actual sweats, and I'm like starting to like fight P1 to P5 with them, right? So that's just.
But that's the thing, though. You get like good views here. I would not want to take away viewership from you just because you're getting P1 every race. Like that doesn't sit well in like
Oh no,
in me.
I mean, no offense to them. I could care less. I'll just do other stuff until, like I said, this is just going to be not ideal right now. But once FUT comes out, it will make perfect sense. If you still want to do this once a week, or I'm surely not going to be every day. I don't think I'll have that time. I'm sure you won't either. But even if it's the once a week, that will not be an issue. I don't think at all. Right? Where do you not think that's a little bit more fair, at least, where it's like we agree to jump on together? If we want to do a couple of online lobbies together, we do it together. If we want to jump right into practice,
I mean,
that's in and of itself a bit more fair. I don't know if that'll make too much of a difference because I've already had so much practice, but I just think too, the other thing that's making it hard on you, and this is, I'm not big upping myself in any way, it's just that I've had now 6, 7 insane races. Like I never thought in my life I'd be able to put together these like types of performances, and I know me, and I know there is disaster coming. I mean, I almost fucked it, for God's sakes. I had to start P20, but like I just know, and I feel bad because you're just seeing all these P1s, and I know very quickly, like it happened in the Williams, man. I was like fucking, there's races I was fighting P4 and then I smashed someone's wing and I'm now last. Or that stupid section where the race restarts and I'm right again with a pack. I spin, hit the wall, and then take my wheel off going into the fucking stupid pit. Like I didn't do that for comedic effect to make you laugh. I didn't do it. Yeah, I'm just an idiot. Like I am prone to making those utterly stupid mistakes. So it's like it's a twofold. I feel bad because I'm putting a lot more time in, so it's putting more pressure on you. And then also I feel bad because I've just managed to string good races together, whereas I know I'm very mistake prone, and it just hasn't happened yet. Like the way I was getting forced off by Perez, the way I got brake checked by Bottas, I've just been able to dodge past them. But normally I just go right into the back of the guy, lose my wing, and now I'm fucked. I gotta go pit or whatever. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I want to leave the ball in your court. I don't want you to feel like you have anxiety going into races. Who the fuck wants to do that? Like that's not fun. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's not. But it's like, again, it comes just because I'm not consistent enough. If I was just like if I just finished every race and was banging out like top 5 performances, I wouldn't, that just wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe more traction control for Nep could curb his stress. And well, the problem,
yeah, but it would also remove about a second a lap.
Exactly, that's the thing. Is then I'll just start pulling away, not even due to Nep's fault, due to the game slowing his car down through corners. It's just not worth it. Devote some more practice before the race. Nep does 1 or 2, maybe time 4 or 5. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know if Nep has that time. Like, I don't know if Nep wants to put in that time. I don't know. Like that's the toughest part about F1 is it is very skill gap oriented, right? Like you have to put in the time if you want to play at the high difficulties or lobbies. So I don't know. I do want to like have you find the joy again though. I don't feel good about continuing a series where you're getting anxiety or being annoyed, because I felt that, dude. There's a couple of races in the Williams where I bottled it and whatever, and I went away. It actually ruined my day. Like in real life, ruined my day. Like I'd end my stream and be like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, man! What a disaster." Nep could start as a fast car. You move to a slower team. Yeah. I mean,
but that still won't change me DNFing and spinning out, and that's what I mean. It's nothing to do with you. Like, but at the same time, everything to do with you, because you're so consistent. It amplifies my inconsistencies. If you were also inconsistent, there wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
So because you're consistent, I'm getting frustrated, but not because of you, because of me being inconsistent. If that makes any sense. I know it's like
no, it makes sense. No, it makes sense. It makes sense for sure. Because you want there to be this is I was about to make a stupid comparison, but at the end of the day, it's like you want to have a fun battle, banter, everything, but you don't want it to be where one guy is nuts and the other guy is just is like floundering in a way. I don't know where another comparison would be, but because it's just consistency. It's like one guy, me and you are both snipers in a Warzone game, and I'm headshotting people, and you're whiffing a couple, and I'm getting like 20 kill games, and you're getting 2 or 3 or whatever the game. Like, it's hard for one person to have fun versus another guy. I totally get it, but I don't know. I don't know how to make it better, I suppose.
Yeah, well, the only solution is for me to put more time in, or for you to put less time in.
Yeah.
I like we've got 6 days. Well, by the time tomorrow's stream comes, 5 days until the new FIFA. So I'm not going to be putting any more time in above than potentially 5 extra days.
Right.
But I don't want you to start being like, okay, for the next week, you're just gonna not play F1 and miss out on those views and that kind of like camaraderie with your stream, because that feels shit as well. Do you know what I mean?
No, no, no. I will. All due respect to my stream, they know I love them, but I also don't give a fuck. If they're here for me grinding F1 or me grinding FIFA, I've always been like that. Like I'm not worried about the views and the whatever. Like whoever's here to support will be here to support no matter what I play. I have gotten to the point where I've put in fucking almost a decade into streaming. I want to have fun with my buddy. That's it. Chat. Who's here is here, and who isn't. That's fine. So I mean, that maybe is a step in the. But unfortunately, again, now we have to ignore the standings for season 1, I suppose, at least for now. But maybe as of tomorrow, for whenever we're gonna play F1, I'll just make that promise where I'm just putting in a grind when you're there, and I think that in and of itself should start to even the playing field. Unfortunately, the shittiest thing for you is I don't know how we fix the fact that my car is literally the fastest car in the paddock now. I just
But that's what I'm saying though. It wouldn't bother me if I was like if those two DNFs were like what I think personally. Like Spain, I would have finished probably like top 5. So there's that. Monaco, forget it. I like bullshit. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
Azerbaijan, third is fine. Canada, like I was either going to be P1 or P2 there.
yeah,
And Austria today, I feel like P1 probably should have been where I would have finished. I probably would have finished P1 if I didn't spin out.
right,
But again, worst case scenario, P2. If I had like P2, the P5, then a DNF, then P3, then P2, 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 I'm sitting here loving life.
right,
I'm like, damn, this is like, because now like this is what I like. What I mean with regards to like, I don't usually subscribe to that mentality of I'm not winning, so I give up, because I've chased forever, right? That it's in my nature to see somebody doing something better than me and say, yeah, I want that, so I'm
right,
going to work towards it.
right.
And if I was behind you in that regard, all the P2s and P3s, I'm like, I'm close enough. I'm going to get this guy. Even if I don't, that mentality is there. But because I'm so far away, I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking done. It's done. I like what I, and I know that it's not about where we finish in the standings, but it also is,
Right.
because that's the whole point of the races, is to get the points to get to win the drivers' championship.
Right. Or at the very least, even if it's not the drivers' championship, competing with each other, like competing
Yeah.
against each other.
Yeah, because it like, and there is something to be said for like, let's say you win the drivers' championship and I finish like 6th, and then the next season you win the drivers' championship and I finish like 3rd. It's like, okay, well done, like I've made some progress.
Right.
That's cool, but that's only the stuff that you can look back on and be like, that was cool.
Right.
I can't look now and be like, oh yeah, I'll be P6 this season and then P3 next season, or that'll be another real fun season. Like, you don't look forwards to being a shitter. You look backwards and like look on your growth. So it's all, I don't know, it's all stress at the end of the day for a video game.
No, that's my point again. Like, do you want to restart the series where again we're closer in cars? Like, so we do Alpine and what cars are, if we look at the vehicle ever, what would be competitive again? Like maybe Aston Martin and Alpine. Like I go in the Aston Martin, you go in the Alpine type of thing.
No, I don't like. I don't want to start again. We're 7 races into this. Like, I'd rather do, 3 or 4 races over the next few days until FIFA's out, because I'm not going to be around Monday. I might be around Tuesday because it comes out at midnight, so I'll probably stream. So yeah, Monday I won't be streaming. So like, I'm probably only going to have 4 or 5 more races in me before FIFA comes out.
Yeah.
So if we start again, we won't even be caught up to where we are now by the time the game comes out. And I would still like to do this once, maybe twice a week, but especially the first few weeks where everything's like going off and stuff. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a few times where we didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, for sure, for the next couple of weeks,
yeah,
it might just be pure FIFA till we get in a schedule, right? And then
yeah.
But okay, so
yeah, so I don't want to restart, and I like to say like I always feel like I've come away from this situation now feeling like, oh, because I've been salty that I spun out and spun and fucked myself, everybody's having to bend to my will. And that feels just as shit. Do you know what I mean? Like you're sitting there now having to try and find ways to make this to make you less successful or something. Like that's not what I want, or like it's not what I was going for or anything. What would have been better is if I just muted and gave myself 10 minutes, because then I would have been all right. But because we've talked it through,
Yeah.
I've kind of talked through the emotions that would have passed and wouldn't have actually meant anything.
Right.
They've now become a reality and a point of conversation, which was never what I wanted. Like really,
No, I get
because
it.
otherwise I would have done this after like the 4th race or the 5th race or the 6th race.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. But no, I think this is just a good lesson for everyone. It's good to just talk about shit, and I don't think you should ever feel bad about being honest. To me, it hurts that as your friend, and I consider you one of my best friends, not just in the community but in life, that I would want you to be open like this. I don't want you to like suppress it and be quiet for 10-15 minutes and then tomorrow you kind of go again. Like I do want to find the enjoyment. Like, dude, we're so lucky to do what we do. We should try and make sure that we're having fun with it. I personally, like, I will have fun playing video games with you. I don't care too much if it's F1
Well,
or if
I mean, you say that when you was playing Division 2 the other night,
Yeah.
you could not look a more disinterested.
No, that was fucking like 5 p.m., bro. No, that's just my end of the day. I played. I didn't complain. I played. I sniped. I did whatever. Like I enjoyed it. No. Don't like me being quiet. Don't. I'll tell you. You know me, dude. I'll tell you. If I'm not having fun, I won't fucking play. Like I gave up on PUBG day 2 because it was just the fucking
PUBG
so bad.
PUBG was shit. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But that's why is it so difficult to just find a game that is enjoyable to that degree, where it's like,
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like just a good grinding game where there's a competitive aspect and a skill set, but that I actually want to sit there and get involved in, because like obviously for me when I go home, it's easy to play D2,
right?
But I can't play F1 when I go home because I can't take my wheel and all my PC home with me and all that sort of stuff. But I can take my PS5 home with me. So
right. I think that has to do with your yeah. I think that has to do with your situation too, though, right? In general, like having your office be somewhere else versus where your house is. That in and of itself, I'm sure, is difficult, right?
Yeah. It's been a bit of a problem the last few months, but it's when I took my like the first like 2.5 months living there, I'd finish up here and I'd go home and I'd just spend time with Lauren. We'd watch TV, movies, spend time with the kids, the afternoons, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Since the kids have gone back to school, it's like I started taking my PS home to play Division, but it's like now I'm like I get home and I put my PC on at home and put my console on. Like, okay, I can't really record or make videos or whatever.
Right.
But it's like it was very much like it gave a stark realization of two things. Number one, how I'm used to putting in all the time and effort in the world into this career, and how that break was so nice. To not have to worry about all of this sort of stuff when I got home. But on the flip side, like things start slipping. For example, I couldn't put in the time for F1 because I was at home chilling, or I can't do the things that I want to do. Like I've got so many things I want to do in this industry and in this community before our time here is up or whatever. And having this like now almost 3-month like deviation from being able to put energy into that is like, it's mad frustrating as well. So yeah, like it's not an excuse in FIFA regards, but just in life, it's like I'm like the way I could explain it to Lauren is I'm just unsettled right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no comfort in anything because wherever I am, I'm missing out on something somewhere, and it leaves me like not able to actually put any attention or focus onto any particular thing.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I feel that too. I don't know if that's like the summer thing, where the FIFA's kind of dead and we're kind of caught in no man's land, if you will, as well. I don't know. I definitely do feel that. I mean, I even told Steph today, like I don't know how I'm going to survive until the launch of the game, and even then, I don't even know what I'm doing still, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
Because I want to do everything. But I also want to do nothing.
Yeah, no, I completely feel that.
Yeah, and I'm just in like, that weird, whatever you want to even call that. I don't even know what that is. Like a purgatory of weird content. Like, on stream I want to chill with you and do whatever it is, D2 or F1, and then but I also want to just get right back into FIFA and grind, and if we do a bit of co-op and do people's packs, pack opening for other people, and like I'm lost. I don't know what that is. Like, is it again that whole thought process where we have, what is it, that like imposter syndrome?
Yeah, the
I'm
imposter
just not
syndrome is like,
comfortable with who and what I want to be. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I have like a lot of times where I see other people doing things successful, and then I want to do them. I was even speaking today about, I used to have a series on my channel called The Best Team in FIFA. I don't know if you remember it or not, but the idea was I'd ask people to tweet me their teams, and then I'd take one of their teams, take it into at the time divisions, and then in FIFA 17 and 18 when I did it, division rivals, play with their team, give them advice on what chem styles to change, what tactics or formations, or just show them, like, because some guys used to be like, oh man, I can't win a DKT because my team's so shit. This is really unfair. So I'm like, all right, what team have you got? And then I'll go build the exact same team and tactics, go and win a DKT, and be like, there you go. Like, this is you problem. This isn't the team. Like,
Right.
you got to get better. Here's how you can like improve with your team.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing that series because I started doing something else that somebody else was doing that was successful.
Yeah.
And that series was not only one of the best performers on my channel, but was one of the best monetizable videos that I put on my channel. And it was super successful. And I stopped it because somebody else did something that was good.
Yeah.
And that's and that's me not being that's me not having that kind of self belief and self worth to say what I'm doing here adds value to people's experience in FIFA, in life, like makes them laugh, makes them smile, teaches them something. Because and it's still the same now. Like, I look at other people in the community and stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish that was me. I wish I could do that. I wish I could be like, just have shit figured out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't have that shit figured out either. But from the outside looking in, they have.
Right.
And it's probably the same way from them. They're probably looking at me or you or skills or whatever person and probably like, man, they've just got this shit figured out.
Yeah.
Like, when I don't upload for a couple of days, I like my insides melt. I'm like, oh shit, like all these people are going to go and watch someone else now and never come back to me. When somebody else sees that I don't upload, they're like, oh man, like if Nep's not uploading, then there's nothing to upload. So I'm not uploading either.
Yeah.
And like people just see it differently. So yeah, and that a lot of that comes from the imposter syndrome, where it's like I don't feel like I deserve what I have. Which is just, I'm sure that's just another
That's the way we're brought
discussion to be had. Yeah, but yeah, it is very, very difficult to just accept that I am who I am, and I've it's just really, really difficult.
Well, like, I mean, this is like if it's content discussion or otherwise for you, but like if you didn't have to worry about all of those stresses of not keeping up with the Joneses, because that's not the right terminology, but keeping your YouTube channel banging the way you want it to, but you're able to do essentially whatever you did uploading wise in terms of time, so amount uploaded, a lot or a little, and content, RTG, packs, advice. If that didn't matter, it was all gonna bang, what would you do? Would you still do everyday videos? Would you still do RTG? Would you still do pack opening? Like, is there a ideal situation for you? If no matter what you did, hit searches, banged, did crazy, did like what Danny Aarons did in 21, like what would you be doing in FIFA? In a new FIFA, I suppose would be a.
I mean, I would still do a Road to Glory because I just love the Road to Glory concept.
Is that it?
Well, I still do the Draft Glory because I enjoy the drafts as well.
Right.
I still do the 6 p.m. content because I enjoy that as well. But it is just all of that combined is just a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And so it would be nice, like, to streamline it. So, like, some Road to Glory is just be like, all right, guys, it's Friday. And this is what I used to do. Every Friday, obviously, Foot Champs, build a brand new team, play one live game of Foot Champs. It would take me 30 minutes start to finish to make the video. And that was Friday's video. And then it gave me the rest of Friday to play Foot Champs to get the post-edit games ready for Saturday. And it kind of like worked in that succession. But that's what I mean by like, there's so much that I want to do.
Yeah. And
I'm sure everyone's the same, right? But like, even with like TikTok and Instagram, like I'm not a TikToker or an Instagrammer.
Yeah.
I'm a YouTuber / streamer that repurposes content to these platforms. I don't want to be that. I want to make content for TikTok and I want to make content for Instagram. I don't want to reuse content for those platforms.
Yeah.
But there's just not enough hours in the day to do it. And there's not enough not enough hours to do the way I want to do it either. And with YouTube, I have 3 YouTube channels. If you would have told me 5 years ago when I just started the Road to Glory YouTube channel, that the Road to Glory YouTube channel itself would still be successful 5 years down the line, I'd be like, "Nah, man. I literally just created this channel because the RTG on the main channel was getting like 1/3 or 1/4 of the views of the other content that was on the channel, but I still loved it, so I wanted to put it somewhere else." And that, funnily enough, is why the Draft got its own channel. People just stopped watching it really on the main channel. It kind of developed into about 6 p.m. stuff and the share play stuff and the all of that kind of thing. And so I put it somewhere else because I still love it.
Yeah.
And then it's the same with the best team in FIFA. It's really hard now because with like the seasons, right? So the level 15 season player,
Yep.
there's 3 different options. So if I want to do a version of the best team in FIFA and this guy's got a card I can't use, I can't do it.
Right. I see. At least,
So
yeah.
yeah. So one thing that I used to do is when I couldn't get a version of a card, I'd find a similar card,
Attributes.
apply an attributes
Yep.
card to make it as close to identical as possible, and then we'd go from there.
Yep.
But that doesn't exist anymore either. So, and then in general, the streaming on top of it has been actually being contracted to do hours has been it's another job because also I don't want to let Facebook down. Like
Yeah.
I could just show up, stream my hours and switch it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that my Facebook is hitting those searches when the VODs are put up afterwards. I want to make sure that they're done correctly, they're titled correctly, they've got unique thumbnails and like even with like Facebook, like all your page and all the options that are there, it's a shit show. I won't even lie. Like half the time Facebook don't really know what they're doing either. But I'm still trying because that's in me to like not want to be like
you want to over deliver.
Hey,
but that's why where you are.
Yeah.
That's exactly why where you are. I do the same thing with Twitch and my deal with them. I overdo it because you want to over deliver. It's again, I think that speaks of your like how you grew up and your your humble beginnings. You don't want to like be ungrateful. I find a lot of people in our industry are ungrateful, and I just don't want to ever be that. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're
Definitely.
the same.
Yeah. Over the last like little while, it's been a few people have like come in and out of my life over the last like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can't believe people are like that. Like
I know, dude.
I can't believe people actually just like don't care, have no empathy or anything, or like it's sometimes difficult when you're like, oh damn, this person is actually only interacting with me because I have wealth. Like they don't and then when I'm not actually giving them any of that, they don't interact with me anymore.
Yeah, or you're a
and
stepping
like,
stone. The FIFA industry in general, whether it's streaming community or YouTube community, it's very much a stepping stone community, which is also, I mean, you and you've been in this for 10 years. I've been in it for 8 years. The amount of people I've made close friends with that I just don't even talk to anymore, or people I've just had great conversations that don't even talk, like, and I'm sure across the board it's like that. So many people see this industry as like a stepping stone industry where you interact with people almost as a business side type of thing. And then if you're not getting what you need or you're kind of achieving what you want, you kind of then start doing your own thing. And it's weird because for me, I genuinely interact with people just to be their friend. Like that's it. I just enjoy people's company. Like I think me and you are the same. Like not once have I ever said like, hey man, now we're pretty good friends. Can you like raid my stream? Can you do that? Nothing's ever thought like that, right? Or you're like, you never come to me and be like, dude, I'm doing this on Facebook. I know it'd be really cool if you kind of told your people to jump over and do this here. It's just been genuine. And I kind of approach every relationship in this industry like that. And I've learned over the years that that's probably not the best idea. Yeah,
no, it's definitely not. But it is the best idea, and here's why. Like, so I like TikTok has a brilliant algorithm for showing you what you want to see, right?
Yeah.
And I get a lot of like motivational stuff, a lot of therapists on there, a lot of stuff with like wealth management and things like that. A lot of like the richest guys, like the Dan Pena and people like that, like giving their spiel. And one of the things that I see regularly that comes up is, wouldn't be where you are today if that didn't happen. And so whilst you may think like, I wish it wasn't like that, if it wasn't like that, you might not be here.
True. That's a good point.
Now you might be somewhere better, but you might not be. You know that you who knows where the
Right.
road leads, like the road, the untraveled path. Who knows where that goes?
Right.
And so you never know where you could be if life didn't go the exact way it's gone now. As you said, like I'm super grateful to be where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
I count my blessings every day, like with how fortunate my kids are. Like when we took them to the other day, I'm just like, so I saw my son was sitting on like our like like coffee table around like with the sofas around on like, and we got like a massive 70-inch TV up on the wall, and he's just sitting on the coffee table staring up at the TV, and I just looked at Laura and I was like, he just doesn't know how lucky he is.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't get it, and that's because this is his normal.
Yep.
But I think so many times to myself, if I didn't go through what I've gone through, would I be here? Would I be able to give this to him? Like, so yeah. Whilst it sucks sometimes, I'm a firm believer and subscriber of the fact that you're here because of the journey.
Right. Right. No, that's a good way to look at it. That's definitely a good way to look at it. That's I mean that's how Steph looks at it. I'm not that great at thinking of things like that for sure. So I like that thought process definitely. It's just better for your health to think like that too, as opposed to
Yeah, it
thinking
is.
the
Yeah,
other side of it, right? Like
yeah,
can't believe this person's that, this person's this. It's better to just be like, hey, experiences are experiences. I'm here right now, and got to make the best of it, whatever it
yeah,
is. Yeah. I know. That's crazy. I can't believe we're fucking talking about this all from a F1 session. It's fucking great. I
yeah.
love it.
It is. I do enjoy talking about this side of things, but I also sit here and sometimes think that, and again, this comes from like the whole imposter syndrome thing and that. Like sometimes, like, am I just being like super condescending? Or, like people sitting there thinking, oh yeah, woe is you. Like how how bad is life really, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, right? It goes back to the mental health thing. Anybody can have mental health issues and doubts, and I think it's important, no matter how successful or non-successful you are, to be able to listen to that type of stuff and have those
Yeah,
discussions, right? I mean, again, some of the coolest, most thought-provoking discussions I've heard recently are talks between some of those wealthiest people I've ever seen. Again, I go back. I know I mentioned it last time we were talking, but to the Lil Wayne mental health video that I watched, like and he's so rich, like so.
yeah.
I truly don't think your viewer base or my viewer base think that of us. I'm sure some weirdos do, but fuck them.
Yeah, oh yeah, you definitely get those minorities, but it's not about what they think; it's about what I think of me.
Right,
Does that make sense?
right. True.
Or more what I think they think of me,
Yep.
rather than what they actually think. That's where it gets like it starts playing on you, and you start sitting there and like, or like legitimately questioning everything every day. Like I go through it even now. I'm like, man, like I wasn't going to upload today, and then I did when that pitch notes came out because the pitch notes came out, but I wasn't going to upload. But then when I turned stream on, I thought, okay, who did I see? Matt HD Game has been uploading like ratings videos, and they're banging for him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, do you know how long it would take me to make a ratings video? Like maybe 45 minutes maximum.
Yep.
For the sake of 45 minutes, I should just make a ratings video. But then I'm like, but no, because now I'm only making a ratings video because I'm envious that Matt's got a banging video. And also I'm scared that now he's the go-to guy, or
Right.
though that audience has gone somewhere else. And so it's like, but then I'm like, but now I'm uploading for the wrong reasons. So I don't want to upload. And so I just have this internal battle, and there's no, and then the pitch notes came out and I was like, thank fuck for that. Let me just do that instead.
Yep.
It kind of like stops me from being in my own head with that one.
Yep. No, I feel that. I feel that. That's like FOMO, but in content creator world,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
literally, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you get past that, man. I have that exact thing, but it just with streaming. That's why I had such difficulty taking days off in the first 5 years. Is exactly that. You just don't want to miss out.
Yeah. It's not even like it's not even about missing out. And like there's I saw who did I see post it? Some YouTuber posted. I was Cypher PK. He went from 7 videos a week to 5 videos a week, give himself just a little more time. And his revenue the first month was down like 10% and his views down like 15%. But then by month 2, his revenue was up compared to when he was uploading a video a day, and his views were up compared to when he's uploading a video a day. So it's that whole less is more scenario.
Yeah.
But I know how much money I make on average per video. And so I sit there and I think, okay, I haven't uploaded on the Road to Glory channel for 7 days now. I've probably passed up on anywhere from £1,000 to £2,000. And I think, do you know what my mum could have done with that money, or what I could have given that to charity, or I could have put in that in my kids' like college funds.
Yeah.
Like how selfish of me to take that time off, but you still like it's. I saw this other thing from like this wealth management guy, and he was like, if you work yourself to a point where you're only like working at 50% capacity because you're so drained, you're worth less. Like you're worth 1 day at full capacity for 2 days at half
Payback.
capacity. So just take a day off and then the next day work at full capacity, and it's the same, right? But it's so hard to get into that headspace because you don't see that side of things ever, because it's like if I didn't work for a week and then worked for a week
Right.
and I made the same as if I worked for 2 weeks straight, I would never know that because I didn't work for the week. I'd be like, damn, I worked for the week now, but I didn't work for the week last week. Imagine if I had also worked for that week,
Yeah.
what more I would have.
Yeah. It's always more, more, more. But I remember, what was it, me, you, and Skills? I remember we're in a call. I think it was like FIFA 14, maybe even 13, where you guys, because I was more just always streaming and just doing my like once a day Road to Glory. But I remember there was a point where you and Skills were both uploading, was it 2 videos a
Three a
day,
day. No,
three a
three, yeah,
day?
3 a day.
And remember
Yeah.
you guys both together like decided like, no, let's like be sane. And was it going down to 1 or 2? I can't remember. Which is
No,
still
yeah,
so
went down
much.
to 2 a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still so much.
Yeah.
But you remember you made that jump and it ended up working out as well, right? So it's interesting how like other content creators, non-FIFA guys, are doing that now. It's kind of their
Yeah.
move. And it's not going from 3 or 4 videos a day down to 1 or 2 like what you guys decided a few years ago. They're going from 1 a day for, let's say, 7 videos a week down to 5 or 4 a week. It's just incredible how it is less is more sometimes. And
Yeah.
it's, man, I don't know. Does that only depend on if you are truly like one of the big guys though? You are. I think for
Yeah.
me that wouldn't help me going like 5 videos a week. I mean, either way, YouTube's like 1% of my efforts, but it's still, I don't know if that would help. I think for you, that's something to think about for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something to think about. I don't know if I am one of the big guys anymore. Like,
Absolutely,
I
you
certainly
are.
get, but when you look at the guys that have monster channels now,
Yeah,
like even the Road to Glory guys, Reeve does massive,
yeah,
Lasty does massive,
yeah,
Harry Hesketh,
yeah,
Danny Aaron's, McGel, Foot Crunch.
yeah.
Like there's probably like Matt HD. There's probably like 10 content creators now that get more views than me consistently on a day-to-day basis. Whereas over the last up until like maybe 3 years ago, for the like 5 or 7 or years, whatever before that, there was maybe one or two.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I'm still like a big content creator, but I think there are so many more big content creators out there that I'm just one of many rather than that person up there. And I don't mind that. Like one guy on my stream the other day was like, how does it feel that this guy gets more views than you and that guy gets more views than you? I'm like it feels a few different things. Yeah, it feels a bit shit because it's like, why don't they watch me? But then I also know that everyone has different styles of content and
Yeah.
aims and targets towards different kinds of views, and that's fine. And it also lets me know that when Danny Aaron's is getting 300,000-400,000 views a video, it lets me know that there's 300,000-400,000 active people out there watching content that I can tap into
Yep.
that might still want to watch me. So that's calm. And then it does sometimes it does like make you a bit like envious and make you like see that kind of like, oh man, why not me, why him, whatever. But then it does motivate me, and that's what I always walk away from. I'm like, damn, like I want to get back to it.
Yeah.
I want to I want to go back to doing the things that I loved doing that worked. And that's why I always talk about the best team in FIFA recently. I'm like, that was a series that was great
Yep.
and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it did well on YouTube, and I stopped it, and I'm an idiot for stopping it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so I like
Did you bring it back last year, or was it the year before? Where you did it
the
for a
year
little bit?
before I tried it. Yeah, I did it for like 3 episodes and then stopped.
Yeah.
And again, because the 6 p.m. content takes 20 minutes from start to finish and gets 300,000 views.
Yeah.
The best team in FIFA takes 3 or 4 hours and might have got 100,000 views.
Right.
So it's like, I'm like, oh, why am I putting my time into that? But like,
Right.
it's so easy, like, so easy to deviate from a path in this industry because, like, this is what I try to explain to people, even with regards to like the Foot Galaxy stuff and that, right? You don't know how far away you move from a path until you're far enough away to see that you've deviated from the path. Because on a day by day basis, it's too subtle a change for you to be like, this isn't going where I wanted it to go. And then you hit a point where you're like, holy shit, how did I get here? I didn't mean for this to happen. I want to be back over here. But then you've set, like, your body or your mind is set with the trends and with the routines that you're doing to get to where you got to. That to make that change is like all of a sudden a massive, like, shock to the system of, oh God, I've got to now just completely revamp everything to go back to what I wanted. And that's why it's difficult for content creators. I don't know if you've ever faced it, where sometimes you find yourself doing content for content's sake,
Yeah.
not because you actually enjoy it, because you've slowly deviated from a path of doing what you wanted. Then somebody's like, oh, what about trying this? And then, all right, let me try that because they seem to like it. And then before you know it, you're doing something you just don't like.
Yeah.
But to give that up, you're going to piss off a massive group of people that are loyal to you and appreciate you and what you're doing.
Yeah.
It could be difficult.
Yeah. No, I think for me the closest I have to that is the no FIFA point RTG. Like the strict no FIFA point poor man RTG where there's no limits. It's just the old school no FIFA point PMRTG. And I kept doing that for years purely because I was scared of letting down my stream mainly. Because everybody would just jump in and be excited to be a part of fucking me opening bronze packs, dude, and 16 and 17 and FIFA 15 and even 18 and whatever. And I just took so long to give up on that, and even to do something as simple as switching to a first owner or switching to a first owner money account even. Or I stopped doing I avoided doing stuff I enjoyed for so long because of exactly that. I was just scared of pissing off like my core audience, whereas now I feel like whether it's the benefit of not hindsight, the benefit of age, the benefit of being in this industry for so long, I get to kind of poke and prod at my audience and say, hey, like, would you guys be okay with this Cruyff PMRTG and just see and go for it. And you know what? If it like I tried it last year with Hull, it didn't work, and then we just did a RTG after that. And whereas years before, I would be so concerned with the uproar of me doing that I wouldn't ever do it. Whereas nowadays, I'll do it, and if it doesn't work, I'm at least honest with myself to be like, okay, well, this is just not going to work, and then we'll shift and change. And I'm glad that I've at least, I have that as a choice. And it's another reason why I kind of gave up on Ultimate Team like 2 months ago. And did I take a big hit in subs? Did I take a big hit in views through the summer because I didn't do at least 3 to 4 hours of just in my brain was dead and boring FUT content over the last 2 months, like just staying on my RTG and opening a couple icon packs and whatever. I just didn't see that as being enjoyable. Previous years I would have done it for the chasing the bag and to keep my audience happy, whereas this year I decided not to. And oddly enough, yeah, I took a bit of a hit financially, this, that, and the other. Who cares? But more importantly, I think I'm more excited for the release of FIFA this year than I've been in years. And it's because I've deviated.
That break.
That 1 or 2 month break, haven't touched FUT. And it's seriously making me hyped up for it, man. I just really hope EA don't let us down, man.
Yeah,
I hope.
Oh, they will. I don't know if you read the pitch notes today.
I read. Well, I didn't see any negatives with it yet, but maybe I kind of glossed over it. What were the bad parts?
Well, they didn't give us any new information other than the fact that the once per week, a player that's lower than 80 rated has the chance of getting an extra upgrade.
Isn't that
that was it?
That's across the board, though, right? It's not what is it one player or across the board?
Yeah, no, one player per week will be the I can't remember what they call
marquee or whatever.
Team of the week moments or whatever. Yeah, it's one player per week that's less than 80 rated.
Oh, see.
And for me, that's shit because the whole idea, the whole principle for EA is this will keep Team of the Week players more up to date with the current power curve, but it won't because it's one player a week. And because they're lower than 80 rated, what about when Team of the Season comes out?
Right.
And now you're giving some lower than 80 rated guy an 84 rated. He's still going to be shit.
Yes.
This is like comparatively. So it's a cool concept, but as usual with EA, it's just not going to be executed well. So reading that pitch notes was like, they told us about icons. Okay, icon swaps and SBCs are coming back. that's good, but also maybe not good because look at it this year. Like icon swaps were pretty cool, apart from the golden goal shenanigans. But
Yeah.
icon SBCs were a shit show.
Yeah.
Like it was abysmal.
Yeah.
And then they talk about all these other like that. Oh, they've revamped ones to watches. Have they? Well, people in my chat. Oh man, can't wait for ones to watch this year. It's gonna be so sick. No, it's not. It's a one-time plus one upgrade. If you took all of the ones to watches from FIFA 20 and FIFA 21, sorry, and gave them all a plus one upgrade from where they are now, it's still the same pile of shit,
Yeah.
just with the plus one upgrade.
Well,
It's
even worse by the digging even deeper into the fact that they need to win 5 league games out of 10 league
yeah,
games. Like unless
which
you're a
means that
Man
yeah,
City or something,
yeah,
or
exactly,
like a
yeah,
Man U, and even that Man U are fully capable of like drawing 6 and losing 2 and winning 3, like and not getting
yeah,
there for Ronaldo.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Like for Arsenal, for Ben White, he's probably going to be like 78 or 79 rated.
yeah,
He's the person that's going to need the bigger upgrades more than anyone. But it's unlikely Arsenal are going to win 5 out of 10 league games realistically. He's probably, as a centre back, very rarely going to get an upgrade anyway. He won't be eligible for this special team of the week moments thing because he's a ones to watch item.
yeah,
And he's the one that it would be desperately in need for the boosts.
yeah,
But then as well, with other players, it's like you can score, get a goal and an assist for Haaland. He'll get his first inform. Cool. The next week he'll score 4. No, sorry, we gave him an inform last week. Can't give him an inform this week. The next week he'll score 4 more. Sorry, we gave him an inform 2 weeks ago. Can't give him an inform this week. Lewandowski will win player of the month because he's had in the same month. So Haaland's got one upgrade for bagging like 10 goals and 3 assists. And it's like it's just all backwards and wrong.
yeah.
And so yeah, when I read through that pitch notes, I'm like, it's cool, but it's a tiny, tiny nuance that doesn't fix a big problem within the game.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize, first of all, so I look like a dickweed now because I was actually genuinely excited about the Team of the Week revamp because I thought 2 things. I thought it was across the board for each Team of the Week. So these shithole 78 rated cards that they turn into 81s and 82s, I thought, like the reserves, those guys that get those
Yeah,
shitbag
yeah,
cards, I thought they're all going to be into the
I know.
84s and
I know.
whatevers.
yeah,
And
which would have been cool.
which would have been
Yeah,
cool. Number one. Number two, and this is all my fault because I just thought logically that this is an idea that they take and progress as the year progresses. So you know how as we went through the year, they didn't do it that well, but still the level 15 and the level 30 seasons players, the first couple of seasons weren't the best, but they got better as the kind of the cards metas got better, right? And it got to the point
yeah,
where every promo that came out, EA was properly making those cards better to fit within the current good cards, like the current team of the years. And
yeah,
whereas in previous years they didn't do that. Like you could even have a fucking Future Stars promo that comes out and half the players are nowhere near as good as some of the team of the weeks that are out. So I thought then if you revert back to the team of the weeks, I thought the last place that they weren't doing that well with was team of the week. Team of the week fucking sucks because by the time Future Stars come out and Shapeshifters come out, we're looking at a Wednesday team of the week with like 82s and 83s. Who gives a fuck? There's a 93 rated Saka.
yeah,
So I was excited because I actually thought what that meant is for that week's team of the weeks, these 78, 79s kind of get informs that almost not fully match the current meta,
but they're there or
but they're
thereabouts. Yeah,
thereabouts. So instead of an
yeah,
83 or 84 that they would get at the start of the game from a 78, 79, they would maybe get a 86. Nothing nuts, but something that, again, a Bamford at 79, what the fuck do I care if his first inform, instead of being an 82 is an 84, if it happens in
yeah,
April? That's ass.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But what I thought is if he got it his first inform in April as a 79, he would, instead of going to an 82, 83, go to like an 87 or something. Like
yeah.
to follow the trend.
Well, yeah, yeah. Which would
So
be the
that's
way.
not
Yeah,
it. I'm an idiot.
the wording specifically is introducing featured team of the week items, a brand new way to celebrate the performance of a select team of the week player each week.
That's so shit.
Yeah, they are talking in the singular there, definitely.
Oh.
Which is shit because if it was like, especially in the early like 2-3 months, how many real cool like 79, 78s that would, well, after becoming 84s would be good, and then because their next performance-based card builds off of that, taking their example of Jude Bellingham, if week 1 he gets an inform and all of a sudden he's an 84 straight away, now by the time January, February comes around, he could be up at a 90 because of other performance-based. That's cool.
Right.
But yeah, it's one player per week, and yeah, when Team of the Year comes out in January, that 79 player is not going to become like an 88 as a special Team of the Year performance-based Team
Right.
of the Week.
Right.
He's just
So
going to be another 84. So I don't understand. Like a lot of people were happy with this, but as I say, all this will do, this won't do anything. It literally won't do anything. It doesn't prevent any kind of power curve. It doesn't make Team of the Weeks more valuable all of a sudden or anything.
yeah, it does.
It's just an extra inform bonus for one player per week.
Yeah, it doesn't make champs viable all year, which again I was excited about, thinking, well, you know what, that's cool. We'll get rewarded if we so choose to compete in champs in April or even February. Like at least it'll be viable. Beyond that,
Yeah.
like EA's almost, first of all, making real life weekend games fun to watch again, because you know the upcoming Team of the Week will be relevant. So that's gone. That sucks. It's back to sucking. And champs is gone. Like all of my excitement is gone because I guess I just misinterpreted it. So that's I am the product of my own sadness again, because I guess I just didn't read it properly. For fuck's sakes, dude.
I used to go into the pitch note stuff and read it with like, I don't know, like very naive and just believe it all and everything. But yeah, after reading this, came out of it afterwards, I'm like, man, like there's nothing here. It is literally just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I know. I've told myself, I think I'm trying to just keep stuff positive, like take the Zwei approach to stuff, and I almost feel like I'm just being fisted. Like I don't really I don't know, man. I'm gonna try and keep it positive, I guess. Like I don't know if you've kind of I feel like you've probably looked into things a lot deeper than I am. I've tried to stay away from like a lot of the leaks and this, that, and the other, because I miss the days. I tweeted about it a little bit. I miss the days of just experiencing everything day one of the game's launch, loading in and being like, oh my god, let's rip our welcome backpack. Holy shit, there's a Aubameyang's 87 rated now. What the fuck? And then you go look on the market and oh, there's 4 people that have hit him. Oh, I miss that. I almost hate that EA have succumbed to the masses of wanting everything before the game's even out, and they've made that a thing. The ratings releases being out, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, man. I'm an old man when it comes to that stuff. I miss us discovering it. I miss almost being excited to tune into your video or just talk to you at the end of the day to like see what you've uncovered, you know, about this and that, and you figured out this and this player. I don't know.
When squad battles was first introduced, I spent hours going into games, scoring different goal amounts, conceding goals, getting yellows, reds, and stuff to try and figure out the point system,
right,
and how it worked. And then I made a Reddit thread and explained to people in detail exactly how it worked. And that thread went like massive, massively upvoted thread on Reddit, and people on Twitter were always like, "Oh man, thank you so much for the information and stuff." Now it's like Foothead or Footwid, Footwid, they've got that info.
Yeah.
There's no like, it's just removed like all of the actual like good engagement with the content, because even for my 6 p.m. content, I'm like, all right guys, let's go and have a look on Footbin then.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of looking through it yourself, for sure. Or even having a discussion with your chat. Like, I'll mention something with my chat. Oh, guys, like, what does this Ronaldo sell for? And I do that. I'm well aware I can go fucking on Futbin and see, but I do that as an engagement even with the chat. Like, the chat can go kind of see, oh, on Xbox he's this much, on whatever. And again, you even have people in the chat like, dude, just go check Futbin, man. Like, okay, fuck me, man. Sorry.
When building squads and stuff, I'm like, all right, guys, this is my favorite 11. Let's try and get the best chemistry. Or you could just go and I can't remember what it's called now, but like something.
Yeah,
it's like a chem builder.
They'll put it all together.
I'm like,
no,
I don't want to do that. I want to do it.
Yeah, like, Fut booster, whatever it is. I want it. Yeah, it's annoying.
We're at that point where it's like people want something or someone to do everything else for them. I'm like, man, I might as well just get someone to play the game for me as well. Like, fuck me, man. Like,
and then 3-4 weeks in, people will go back to complaining that there's nothing to do and everyone's figured everything out. Where I mean, we're our own enemies for that, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I've like the last 2 years, I think, and that's why I've played less and less champs. But the last 2 years or so, I don't know why I play FIFA anymore.
Yeah.
because as a football game, it's awful.
Yeah.
As like a collectibles game, this was like talking about like so rare on stream today, or actually on a tweet. Somebody was like, "Why should I buy FIFA?" And I was like, bit like hyperbole. Was like, let me read it out. I said, if you don't get it, here's what you miss out on: spending loads of money or spending loads of time on a game that will frustrate you. Only have 12 months max utility on cards that you, even though you paid for them, you don't actually own, and lots of rage. Why would you not buy it? Just a bit of a joke. You know,
Right.
some people didn't take the joke, didn't get the joke, but it is true. Like when you buy FIFA points and you own or you pack or you craft that hullet or whatever, in the small print on your game, it says EA own all rights to digital assets.
Yep.
You don't own anything. You're essentially giving them money at the chance of borrowing something from them until they see fit.
Yeah.
And that for me goes against so many values in my life that I don't want to do it. If I didn't make content, I wouldn't spend FIFA points at all, probably, or like maybe like smartly or whatever. But just in general, it's just when I think about, I don't want to play FIFA because, or I play it less because it doesn't represent football, and that we all love the sport. I want to play a game that represents the sport. I want to actually like put together an Arsenal squad and enjoy using the Arsenal squad, even if I'm not winning as much. But in this game, you can't.
No. No, you
Can't.
can't. Unless you're Zway and you're
And
an angel and you can just
yeah.
get pissed on. Yeah.
And then it comes down to, okay, what about collecting cards and just having these cool things? But then I don't actually own them.
Yeah.
Like, and so, and that, if I get banned for whatever reason or my account gets hacked or whatever, it's all gone. And like, to what end, to what cause? And so, I'm really, really like, I know I've been like getting into the NFT world a lot recently, but this whole side of gaming or whatever has kind of really like connected with me and what I want and like out of video games. And I even think the same, like it wouldn't surprise me if AAA titles started implementing NFTs to their games. But like think of Dark Souls, like when you get a drop. I don't know how the drops work. Do they drop like tools, items, chest plates, things like
Yeah,
that?
items, chest plates, etc. Yeah.
Imagine if they were tradable on an actual market.
Yep.
How cool would that be? Imagine if you're like struggling to beat this boss and then you could just go and buy this sword for like 2 grand, beat the boss, and then go and sell it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just get the sword drop and you've already got it and you're like, well, holy shit, now I can sell it to somebody that wants this for 2 grand.
Yeah.
Like that side of gaming, like, and one of the reasons why I fell in love with Diablo, when Diablo 3 first came out, it had a real money auction house. And you could literally farm the items. And when you got real good items, you could sell them and stuff. But the Chinese kind of like labor shops were like basically like there was like rooms with like 40, 50 PCs in, tiny little sweatbox rooms, and these Chinese men and women and children, I'm sure, like being forced to farm Diablo to sell the products, and so all these like Chinese sweatshop owners essentially like taking all the money, and they were getting paid like £1 per day and making hundreds of pounds per day. So, but for like as a humanitarian reason, Diablo 3 kind of shut down the real money auction house, which at the time was the right thing to do. But I loved the auction house. I love that connection of gaming to the real world in that sense. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think FIFA for me just doesn't quite grab that anymore. Like where I can actually connect with the game anymore because it's just not what I want from gaming.
Right. Well, it's basically what I mean. Someone even in my chat just said it, like CS:GO skins. It's an expansion on that essentially, right? Where at least if you know how you buy CS:GO skins, they actually have a market value, correct? So would
Yeah,
it be a taking that and turning those skins into like trading cards essentially as well, to an extent, or no? Is that totally? I'm trying to think of the application towards FUT. I think FUT, the only way we'd
well,
get that is it'd have to be a seasonal game, but not an actual new game every year, right? Like it'd have to be no longer a yearly release.
yeah, exactly. It'd have to be like it just out and then it has different seasons.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like your FIFA 21 99 Cristiano Ronaldo has value different values in different areas and like maybe penalties in different areas and stuff as well. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that new players aren't just coming up against these 11.99 rated cards, getting spanked everywhere and not enjoying themselves.
Right.
I can't imagine it's going to be in the very near future for like AAA titles implementing it. But for me, what would be incredible would be like a Football Manager style game. Like you never played Football Manager live, did you?
No.
Like it was so good. It was like one of the best games I've ever had. And I think about that now, and I think how the NFT world like implementing that. And imagine like even in FIFA, imagine like a draft. Like, remember what skills used to do with that draft series, where everyone would actually just pick a player and people just couldn't have the same
Yep.
players, and then we'd all play against each
Dude,
other.
that was so fun.
Imagine that, but with NFTs or with like monetized things. So you go into a place on FIFA where you like pay an entry, and there's 15 other people, and you're all waiting on the same screen, and then it pops up goalkeepers, and it in a snake format.
Yep.
When somebody takes that goalkeeper, boom, and now all of a sudden, now you've got these cards, but you can trade them. Like so, you can trade them for virtual real currency, and then you go and win the draft. You get your pack, or like there is so many applications for it in FUT, but because of the pack side of things, it then would be gambling, and that's why So Rare don't do packs
Right.
because they don't want to go anywhere near that kind of like that side of things. So yeah, I think for FIFA it'd be difficult, but I love the idea, as I say, with like Football Manager of us going into like a Football Manager world with fake names, so we don't need licensing, and
Yeah.
just creating like a team, building your team up, being able to sell players on an actual open market through Ethereum,
Yeah.
and offering prizes and everything through Ethereum. Like so, you could enter a division with your like low ball half star team because you just started your account, but you finish first, and you get like zero point 0.3 of an Ethereum for just finishing there,
Right.
which then you can take and improve your squad for next season. Go and buy some players, or you can put your own money into it and buy players to improve because the next division up for winning that division, you get like zero point 0.7 of an Ethereum,
Right.
and it scales and it scales, and before you know it, you've got yourself like an actual working pay to no play to earn Ethereum based video game. And the prospects of this literally keep me up at night.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because it's the very almost beginning of all of it. Like you're right at the start of the
Yeah.
potential of all of this. Yeah. Yeah. Is there like issues with not insider trading specifically, but wow, I'm so far removed from it, but I've seen with NFTs. I don't think on the football side of things, but there are these like concerns with people kind of artificially moving the dial in terms of items pricing and
Yeah.
whatnot. Is that a thing that is
Yeah.
like in So Rare or whatever as well, or no?
Not in so rare, no. I mean, you would have to be insanely wealthy to move the needle to the point where like the risk would be stupendous and the reward would be minimal, and you'd need so much starting capital to do it in the first place that you don't need to make that little few percent, right? Um, so rare, like so rare has a lot of like really cool aspects because a lot like some people just like collecting the cards, just like they do with Panini or Match Attacks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, so rare only have a certain amount of licenses, so they don't have an Arsenal license. So there's a Thomas Partey on there back when he was at Atletico Madrid. There's the new Japanese right back from when he was at in the Syria, and so there's a few like Arsenal players floating around, but until they get the Arsenal licensing, I don't want to get the Arsenal players because I want the proper Arsenal players. Just as a collectible, like I do still try and I do still like I still struggle mentally to kind of be like, well, why would you want a digital version of the asset? Like, what do you get from it?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you think about it logically, what do you get from having the physical version of the asset?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's the same.
Like it is the same. It's just about like it's about showing off, right?
Yep.
And our world now is far more digital than it is analog.
Yep.
So showing off your one of one 2018 Cristiano Ronaldo, that's a big bragging right.
Yeah.
So rare in that sense is like pretty cool. But I think one thing that is a big kind of like mover for so rare, and believe it or not, people listening to Extreme, I'm not partnered with, affiliated with, or sponsored or promoted by them in any way. I make absolutely, in fact, I'm 6 grand in the hole on So Rare. Trust me, I'm not benefiting from talking about this. I'm just genuinely passionate about it. But um, the market for So Rare players moves a lot based on real life. And so, like, if a player gets injured, people will try and offload him because for people that can't afford to have a big kind of like pool of players in their club, in their gallery or whatever, they might only have 5. So to play the fantasy side of things, you need 5 players. So if their star guy gets injured and they can't afford to just buy another person, they'd have to sell him to buy someone in. So when a player gets injured, they tend to get like mass dumped on the market. And then obviously when they come back from injury, especially if they're a good performer, everyone starts picking them back up again. So it's like a really good method to trade injured players. Just buy them when they're injured,
Right.
sell them again when they're back again. And you could just make good margins off of that.
Right.
But it's also like with somebody in my stream today was talking about how people buy players where their team has got a run of easy fixtures because it's likely that they'll perform well, which will put them high on the like fantasy list, means they'll be a popular choice for people to want, so their price will go up. But it's only because they've had some like a luxury run of games, and so people can trade off of that. And just in general, like there's a really cool trading aspect, really cool fantasy aspect, and a really cool collectibles aspect. But it does need a lot of work. It's like it's not very user friendly. The interface isn't very nice. There's still a lot of big problems with the site, like a lot of things that they can improve on quite quickly. But
Yeah.
just as a game, so engaging. But it's just so like it does just take you away, like researching what players to get, and then like finding a bargain. Found like this one guy, this MLS striker that was like so cheap, and he just bags points every week. So I bought him for like I think it was like €70, and now he's worth like €200
Damn.
because I got in before everybody else got in to see that he was like a sick player. Like, so yes, it's yeah, Football Index though. I said like, did you ever use Football Index?
No.
So Football Index was a site where you could buy like shares of a player, but
Okay.
essentially it was a pyramid scheme, and they had to keep like dumping more and more players in, which kept devaluing players in
Right.
the hopes that people would put more money in, and it turned out it was a pyramid scheme, and it like, got shut down, and people lost a lot of money off of it.
Right.
The reason why So Rare isn't a pyramid scheme, because I have thought about this as well, because like obviously with what I've gone through in the past, like I just want to make sure I'm I've done all of my due diligence. But
Right.
the reason why So Rare isn't a pyramid scheme is because it's entirely funded from the sale of players from an auctionable market rather than them putting players into the game already and then people buying into them. So if nobody buys the players in the first place, there's no funding goes into the site, and therefore the cards values change based on the actual flow of the market, not based on some predetermined drop of like on FIFA. Okay, there's only one Ronaldo on the market, so he's worth 15 million.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they put 100 Ronaldos, so he's worth 10 million.
Right.
Okay,
No outside
EA have direct,
influence. Yeah, no
yeah,
outside
yeah,
company or corporate influence. It's just like community
yeah,
driven.
exactly, and that's why it's not a pyramid scheme
Yeah.
because it's all everything's done by the community. Like,
Yeah, that is genuinely super interesting to me. Like I always worry about the company themselves or whoever's behind that kind of doing
yeah,
unscrupulous things, but I mean that's just a
yeah.
silly thought process too though because lots of these things exist and they're they're regulated and they're
I,
monitored and
I, I do think it's important questions to ask though, and I've asked as many as I could, and like with regards to like longevity, like some people on So Rare pay literally like €100,000 for a card,
that's
and I'm just
insane,
like,
dude.
yeah, I'm literally like, why? And it's not like a one-off thing; it regularly happens.
Jesus.
And so I went into the Discord, and I was just like, guys, what's stopping like another site popping up tomorrow and doing the same thing but better? And then they explained about licensing. So Rare have got some exclusive licenses, and then just a lot of digital asset licenses with a lot of big clubs. And now they've just onboarded the entire of La Liga. Like this is going somewhere, and like they've just been valued at £3 billion, and have just had a £1 billion investment from venture capitalists and angel investors. This isn't gonna just disappear overnight. They're
Yeah.
in it for the long haul. They want this to be a success. How they take it to market for the general public, I don't know, because your average person doesn't understand how to buy Ethereum, put it into a wallet, then put it into So Rare. Like it's just beyond a lot of people. So they need to like really dumb it down in that
Yeah,
sense
make it more
to make it
user
like
friendly for sure.
yeah. But in terms of like the actual like concept, it's there's like there's no guarantee it won't just crash and burn tomorrow. But this is what I say to people that have like the physical cards. Your card is only worth something because somebody decides that they would buy it at the price that you've listed it at.
Right.
If all of a sudden no one gave a shit about your signed one of one Lionel Messi, he's literally worth the cardboard that he's printed on.
Right.
And that's the same with SoRare. If all of a sudden people just don't want your digital assets, yeah, it's worthless.
Yeah.
But whilst there's a demand, it's worth a lot.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like anything. That's the same thing. Same thing with housing. Same thing with
Yeah.
across the board. Stocks to an extent too. I'm sure there's huge nuanced differences, but the overall concept stays the same. It's what people are willing to spend on it for sure. Man, you got me now fucking thinking about this shit, dude. For God's sakes, FIFA's out in 4 days, dude.
Man.
Fuck's sakes.
Oh, today, right? Today, so I built 6 teams because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. But my I have a like they have different leagues for like around the world and stuff, and they've got like a championship MLS league,
Yeah.
Championship America, and I finished 39th
Ooh.
in the world in Championship America. So I get a tier 2 limited card from the pool of American players. The worst ones are worth like 15 or 20 euros, but some of the best ones are worth like 300 or 400 euros.
Oh my god.
So I could hit a card here that's worth like 300 or 400 euros. Now that's only if somebody wants to buy it. That's like, you know, maybe
Right.
maybe it's worth 200 euros or 250 euros or whatever. But maybe they're just a good point scorer that they go into my team instead, and they give me an even better score next week, so that you finish even higher and get an even better card. And then they have a division where, you know how in fantasy you get points.
Yeah.
So they have a division where for getting 205 points, you just get an Ethereum payout. So I won that today as well. It was only like 30 euros, but it's 30 euros,
Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so today from my investments, I probably made back anywhere from like 50 to 60 euros, which is a small amount compared to what I put in. We're literally talking like 1%,
Yeah.
but this is my second full game week. So hopefully, as the game weeks go on, as I kind of like really condense my players and find a better, more efficient manner to play the game. One of the things that I saw the most on So Rare was the points threshold to win is so low. And obviously, it's based on real world football, so you can't predict, right? One of my
Right.
players today didn't play, and he was like, he's been scoring crazy, and today, for one reason or another, they left him out of the team. And you can't account for that, right? But the thing that I've most noticed is that even though people are spending a lot of money on these cards to play with them in the like fantasy area, they're brain dead.
Right.
The point scoring is so low. And I just look at their teams and I'm like, why would you put him in? And then funnily enough, I was in a Discord today and one guy was just talking randomly about he spent like a lot of money on a certain card type. And he's like, I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that it'll only take me like a month or two to make this revenue back and still have the cards because people are stupid. And I read that and I thought, okay, it's not just me that sees it then. Like,
Yeah.
people genuinely don't know how to play this fantasy aspect. And so they miss out on really cool rewards. And one of the coolest thing about So Rare is the reward scale based on how many people are in a particular division. So if there's 1,000 people in, the top 100 will win a prize. But if there's 10,000 people in, the top 1,000 will win a prize. So it's not like the more people that join, the less chance you've got of winning a reward. It scales based on, yeah, just how many people are playing, because obviously the more people that are playing, the more money that's been put into So Rare, so the more funds they have to give back to people in So Rare.
So yeah, so it's all, so it's always the money going up, card values going up in Rare is purely dependent on people putting their money into it and wanting to spend,
Yeah.
like adding whatever it is, 1 or 2 Ethereum or whatever, and getting this Aubameyang or whoever the case may be.
Yeah,
That's the only way it
yeah,
goes up.
literally.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and when you look at the prices, because there's a site called So Rare Data that tracks everything. When you look at the prices, the site in general is like 2,000 times up on what it was a year ago. So people now are selling cards for like $100,000 that they bought literally for like $1,000 or $50 or $500 because and because it's the early stages, the more that get involved in it, the more it's gonna go up. And like there's different rarities of cards and like the unique cards are one of ones. They give a bigger bonus in the fantasy
Mm-hmm.
and they're one of one. So they're just rarer in the first place, which gives them like more value. What I don't like about So Rare is the cards are shit. They just look plain and boring. And it's like, look, when I get like that cool signature card from Topps Kick, it looks insane.
Right.
I look at it and I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Even with FIFA, when you look at the team of the years and things like that, it's like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm into this. These cards are shit, and I
Yeah.
told them they're shit, and I don't know if they'll ever change them or what, but they're shit. Like
Yeah.
they don't give me that vibe of I want to collect all of the the Champions League winner editions because they look so insane. Like they just have red, yellow, and blue cards, and that's it.
Yeah, and see, that's too bad. So they get people on the idea of the rarity of like a one-off Messi. They don't necessarily get people on it because it's a one-off Messi, but it also is a super sick looking card as a one-off Messi.
Yeah. Now there are a few like the new rookie cards have a pretty cool design at the bottom, and
Mm.
they do have some signature cards, but of course it's a digital signature, so it has a bit less value. And they do have some other kind of like card types. They have like a West Ham special version on a couple of players. But what I don't really understand is the way the rarities work. So you have like the uniques, which are one of ones,
Mm-hmm.
then the super rares, which are out of 10, the rares, which are out of 100, and the limited, which are out of 1,000. But I think it would be cool to add in offset like card types of literally like Chelsea Champions League winners. So make just 10 versions of each card and just call them the Champions League winners. And then now you all of a sudden they've got like, okay, there's already like, so for like I don't know, for Mason Mount, he's already got a 1 of 10 as a super rare, but the 1 of 10 Champions League winner will just hold more value because it's a cool design and it's him holding the
Right.
trophy and it's like, oh my god, this is brilliant. So yeah, they've got a long way to go with that, but that's why it's so exciting to me now is because when you read the Discord and stuff, they are so engaged with their community
Mm-hmm.
and they're so open to listening to what people want and how to improve their platform that I struggle to see it going anywhere but up.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely the future. Just I see exactly that, and it being integrated more into the mainstream as maybe not a AAA title, but as a game as well. Because imagine everything
Yeah,
you're talking about, but that is what you have is applicable. Maybe not in the FUT world, but like a football manager world, like you mentioned. And that
yeah,
integration is what's going to make everything bang, I think. I don't know
yeah,
where it comes or when it comes, but it just feels like that's the future, man. Same thing, even to the like with COD, where it's NFTs for weapon skins and earned weapon skins or
yeah,
whatever it is. I think it's the future. I do. I don't understand it, but I definitely feel like it's definitely the future for sure.
yeah. Oh, like imagine if Warzone today had like, all right, guys, for the next 12 hours, you get like, if you get 100 headshot kills, you get awarded this skin. 500, you get awarded this skin. 1,000, you get awarded this skin. If you get 10,000 headshot kills, you get awarded this insane skin. And then they can mint it after the fact.
Yeah.
So after the 12 hours is finished, if only like 7 people got 10,000 headshot kills, which is probably like an overestimation anyway, now you've got a 3 of 7 or a 7 of 7 skin that you've earned that you can now take to the market and be like, hey, who wants to buy this skin?
Yeah.
And the amount of people that be like, I want that fucking skin.
Yeah.
I want that skin.
Yeah.
There's only 7 in the world. You got it by doing something absolutely insane.
Yeah.
People would pay insane money for that.
Yeah. And they could, the people that achieve those things, that the account, because a lot of people go, "Ooh, what about hackers?" First of all, hopefully the anti-cheat works, but second of all, they could vet the guys that did it too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah,
and then if you're cheating, well, you get, not only do you not get that thing, but you get banned as well,
yeah.
right? And yeah, it's so limitless as
It
opposed to being
is,
limited, which is so cool.
and that's what I mean. Like, I was my sister-in-law was here with me a couple of days ago, and I was explaining to her like my idea behind, like, I bet basically, and I probably should talk to you about this, and because like in an off-stream fashion, right? I
Yeah,
want to create a Football Manager based NFT game,
yeah,
but I need to have a roadmap. I need to have, I need to like find developers. I need to like get investors. Like,
yeah,
but the beautiful thing about a lot of NFT games is it's community driven, right?
right,
So the way that they did Axie Infinity or whatever, which is one of the games, is like if you invest early, if I pitch you my idea, if I pitch my community my idea, and I'm like, all right, guys, I've got like 10,000 NFT players, and these are going to be Genesis ones, and they're going to be super unique. Now, obviously, they can't all be like 100 out of 100 levels. They can't all be like insane players. There's going to be some stinkers in there and stuff, but it's $50 or €50 per token. And if I sell out the 10,000, I've now made €500,000 to start to use into developing the game.
right.
And what they got in return is a token that when the game's ready or straight away, when like the drop comes, they might end up hitting like, so okay, I'm gonna have to go into it now to actually explain it. So my idea is having a closed worlds of up to 100 managers. And
Do you
so
want
it'll
to say
be
this in front of thousands of people, like for fear of losing some of it, like genuinely having?
there's already a couple of like manager style NFT games coming up, and so for the core principle, I don't think what I've thought of is so wildly out there that nobody else in the world has thought of this kind of thing. But
Right,
and especially because I'm essentially basing a lot of my ideas off Football Manager Live, which has already been a thing. So
right,
imagine NEP's NFT world. I don't know, call it whatever the fuck you want, right?
right.
And 100 managers can join each game world. And in each game world, there are 10 divisions, and in each division, 10 teams, plus 100 managers, one manager per team.
Yeah,
And the divisions work like there is one elite division, and then there are three worlds within that with three other divisions. So essentially, there's elite, and then like, I don't know, Europe 1 and 2 and 3, and then like America's 1, 2, and 3, and then like rest of world 1, 2, and 3. And in the elite division, the bottom three teams get relegated down into one of the other divisions, and the winners of Europe, Americas, and rest of world get promoted into it. And so you have to fill your team up with a team of say 18 players. So you just have 11 players and 7 subs. Now you have to get these players. You'll be given half-star players to start with,
okay,
but your half-star players just won't be able to do anything. So you're going to want to maybe trade on the market, or maybe as a kind of pre-entry point, buy these Genesis tokens. So that you might buy 10 of them, and you might get 3 5-star players and 7 half-star players. You might get 10 half-star players. But that's the whole point of like these NFT things with like that ape club and stuff. It's like you don't know what you're paying for until essentially it's too late, and you either get something lucky or you don't, depending
right,
on how the drops work out.
right,
But then when you've got your team, it essentially is like a football manager game. So your team against their team, you could run the leagues like per 2 weeks, per 14 days. And like if you've got like let's say you like get close to getting promoted, you can finish just outside the playoff places. Now you'd be thinking to yourself, okay, if I just have like another 3-star player in my team, maybe that would be good enough to get me promoted. So you go to the market. Maybe you want to buy a 3-star player off. Maybe I'll come to you and I'll say, all right, Nick, you've got this 3-star player that like did really well for you last season. I want to buy him. How much do you want for him? And then I give you a real world money.
yeah,
Or I could go to the auction house and bid on a 3-star player, but I'm fighting with all of these other managers that also might want this 3-star player.
right,
And that's that. Then the way that So rare works is cool because all the money from the auction house goes back into the game in one way or another. So let's say, this game makes 100,000 euros one season, 50,000 of that goes back into prizes. So, the prize now for winning the elite division is, I don't know, 2 Ethereum. Whereas last season it was only 1 Ethereum. But now, because we've got more players on board and there's more money flowing in the economy,
Yeah.
we can offer bigger and better rewards, which makes people want more better players, which makes people put more money into it, which gives even bigger rewards.
Yeah.
And like it
Constantly
snowballs out of
stackable.
control.
Yeah, it's a constantly stackable and improvable reward structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for people that come in at the low end with their like half star things, what I had idea of is like actually setting up training and stuff. So you could either have a grind, where it's like, look, I'm going to be in this division for a good few seasons because I need to actually train my players and have potential in the players. Half star player has a maximum potential of 2 stars. Might take 1 season per half star to train them. But even then, you could have your initial team of like 18 half star players that you get. And it will, again, all be random, but they'll be random on the low end because it's like the entry level. They still will be trainable to 2, maybe some of them 3 stars, at which point you might then sell them off.
Right.
And you get replaced with another half star. So you could end up making good money off of just training your low tier players and selling them on. And then that's how you can that's how like the play to earn comes in, because you don't actually have to put in any money to initially get going. You have to put in some time, play the game,
right,
train your players up, sell them off. Now you've got some capital to start working with, or you could just keep withdrawing from it. And when I was talking to like my sister-in-law about this, I was talking to her for about 3 hours, and I was just like, I'm just so ready to make this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, again, I can't express how much this keeps me up at night. Me thinking about what it could be, and like all the little nuances, and like people say, oh, make sure you keep your game super simple, and like, yeah, okay, I want to keep it simple, but I personally like the depth of having things like on So Rare they hit a points threshold and you get Ethereum based. Well, it'd be really cool if on my Football Manager game, if you have a player that scores 50 goals in a season, you just get an Ethereum payout. That's it. You just earn 0.1 Ethereum just for scoring 50 goals with the player.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, you're invested in the game. You're invested in my website. Investors are going to be like, holy shit, people are into this. It's making money hand over fist. We want a part of it. And before you know it, it's a massive play to earn Ethereum blockchain video game based on football and Football Manager.
It's so dope. I again, it makes me think that scarily would the first place to knock on be Football Manager, and have
potentially
have it built up, have it built up, and have all of that. Maybe you get your few guys to develop it and get it ready to go, but then have almost a symbiotic partnership with them where they can kind of fill a few of the gaps that you may have. That, I mean, I don't know, man. That seems too good to not at least really suss out.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
And what I find anytime I've ever come up with ideas, projects, even school projects and shit, late night thinking, for fuck's sakes, my alarm is going, goddamn it. I used to read Word Up magazine. I'll put stairs on that.
And heavy D up in the limousine.
God, I love it. But what you should do before I go, because I am literally 20 minutes late, but I would I would go old school and jot all this down, dude, because the way you're vetting out all these little ideas and nuances, you gotta start writing all this shit down, man. Because what I hate is you start building and building and building, and then your brain jumps to this side and you're advancing in this side, and then you don't write any of it down, and it's so hard to flush back into that thought process a day later. I couldn't implore you more to write this shit down, man. Seriously. That's, I don't know what you're looking at there, but that is so crazy to me if those are real prices.
Oh, dude, this I guess you've got the stream open. This is literally right now for this guy, and he's not even a unique. He's a 1 of 10. 6,200 euros.
Like, what? Yeah,
dude, it's insane. There's a couple of guys that literally have like a portfolio worth like 10 million euros worth of players.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's mental the amount of money that's about.
Or again, maybe not the Football Manager side, but you develop the Football Manager style backend and then approach these guys, the So Rare guys, and have an integration that way. I don't know. I mean,
well,
I don't know.
So just before you go, here's something that's super unique about NFTs. I didn't really understand until Zed Run, the horse game thing, came out. Right.
Right.
The cards that I have in my kind of like my cards in my gallery, I own these. I literally own them. And so if a third party created a game where they could utilize these players, So Rare can't do anything about it because I own the digital assets to this card.
Right.
And so a lot of like third parties are coming up with like side games or like the horses particularly, but it would be so easy to come up with a side game of being and say to people, all right, you've got 11 cards, I've got 11 cards, let's go head to head. You put up 0.1 Ethereum, I put up 0.1 Ethereum, the winner gets 1.7 Ethereum, the house gets 0.3 Ethereum for connecting the two of you together. That's a business right there.
Right.
But then you need the match engine to like put them against each other, and then it comes to, okay, look at Football Manager, like how many problems does the ME have on that, and
Right.
how do you like how does it be fair, and how do people feel like they're not getting like cheated out of like results, and how deep should the tactics go, and again it keeps me up at night because I don't have answers to a million questions that I have.
Yeah. Fuck. All right, let's fucking pick this up again tomorrow. Now you got me hyped up.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. I gotta go. GG's.
Cool.
We're going
All
tomorrow.
right, catch you later, bro.
Bye bye.